I found a men's lubricant buried in my wife's gym bag, a brand I'd never bought and never used. I didn't yell. I didn't cry. I just quietly swapped the contents for industrial superglue and put it right back where I found it. What happened 3 nights later is something no one in our building will ever forget. You know how everyone loves to say that love is blind? Well, let me tell you something they don't put on the greeting cards. Love isn't blind. Love is a guy standing in his own bedroom with the lights on, staring straight at the evidence and choosing to squeeze his eyes shut anyway. That was me for the better part of a year. The trusting husband, the steady guy, the idiot who kept telling himself that the little wrong things were just his imagination running hot. My gut had been screaming at me for months, a low, ugly hum I could feel in the back of my throat every time she reached for her phone and tilted it away from me. But did I listen? Of course not. I was too busy being the reliable one, the guy who packed her lunch and warmed her side of the bed, and actually believed her when she said the gym had added a second late class on Thursdays. It was a Thursday, naturally. Nothing catastrophic in my life has ever had the decency to happen on a nice, forgettable Wednesday. It's always a Thursday, always around the hour when the whole apartment goes quiet enough that you can hear the refrigerator thinking. I was on the couch with a beer going warm in my hand, half watching some cooking show where a man in an apron was screaming about risotto, when Camille breezed in from her class. She had that flushed, glowing look she'd been coming home with lately, the one I'd stupidly told myself was just endorphins. She dropped her gym bag by the closet the way she always did, gave me a kiss on the top of the head that landed like a stamp on a package, and announced she was jumping in the shower. Second shower of the day. That should have been my first real flag, because Camille was not a woman who chased cleanliness. 15 years I'd known her, and her whole philosophy was that a shower was something you earned, not something you handed out for free. She was a shower in the morning, maybe again if there's a reason kind of person, so 2 showers before dinner, on a Thursday with that glow. My brain filed it under a folder I'd been trying very hard not to open. The water kicked on down the hall, and I went to grab my car keys because I'd promised to run out for the good ice cream, the kind from the place across town that closed at 9. My keys weren't on the hook. They weren't in my jacket, and then I remembered, with that little sinking feeling, that I'd tossed them into her gym bag that morning when my hands were full carrying Theo's booster seat out to her car. So there I was, kneeling on our hardwood floor, unzipping my wife's gym bag, expecting nothing more sinister than a damp towel and a water bottle that smelled like a locker room. I fished around past the sports bra and the tangle of resistance bands and the granola bar wrappers she never threw away, and my fingers closed around something that did not belong, something small and cool and heavy in a way that felt deliberate, something with the smooth, engineered weight of a product that costs real money. I pulled it out and held it up to the lamp. It was a slim black tube, matte, maybe 4 inches long, with a minimalist cap and lettering stamped into the metal in a language that wasn't English. The design looked like something you'd see behind glass in a boutique, not something you'd toss in a gym bag next to a granola bar. My first honest thought was, that's a weird protein gel. My second thought, the one that crawled up a half second later, was quieter and colder. I opened my phone, pointed the camera at the lettering, and let the translation load while the shower ran on down the hall. German. The words assembled themselves on my screen one at a time, and I swear the temperature in the room dropped 10 degrees. Premium Intimate Glide, for men, long-lasting. Warming formula, for men, not for us, not couples. Not the boring drugstore stuff in the clinical bottle that we'd used maybe 4 times in a decade, and that was still, last I checked, gathering dust in the back of the bathroom cabinet, for men. And it wasn't new. The tube had that soft, worn look a thing gets from being carried around and used, the cap a little loose, the label scuffed at one corner. I turned it over and over in my hand, and my brain went scrambling for the exits, looking for the innocent explanation the way you pat your pockets for keys you already know you left inside. Maybe it was a gag gift. Maybe a coworker had shoved it in her bag as a joke. Maybe it was a free sample from some wellness expo she'd gone to. My gut, though, my gut was already 3 rooms ahead of me, standing in the dark, waiting with its arms crossed and a look on its face that said, "You knew. You've known for months. Click here to watch what happened next."